I'm Larry GLENZ, and I'm a Pathways of Light minister. And Pathways of Light is a global church that is based on the spiritual path of Course in Miracles. And I studied A Course in Miracles for a long time before I found Pathways of Light. And I wasn't looking to become an ordained minister, but I was looking to take A Course in Miracles deeper. And I knew that this would be a way. Pathways of Light offers 22 courses in minister training and another 24 courses in miracle practitioner courses, which is studying the concepts of A Course in Miracles. And I had a crisis in my life. At the time, my younger son, Kevin, had fallen into the depths of heroin addiction. And I was scared to death. And I had been taught to go to Holy Spirit. And by taking the Pathways of Light minister training courses and their practitioner courses, I became focused on the love and the forgiveness. And I was able to recognize when I was coming from fear, because I was being trained. These are amazing courses, really. And when Kevin passed after 7 years of addiction, I was guided by Spirit to, well, I put him in charge. And I was guided to speak to high school kids. I was a high school history teacher for 36 years and an athletic coach. And I had a lot of experience in talking to high school kids. So I was put in charge of telling my story. And I was guided by Holy Spirit to write a book about it, which I did. I wrote the book here, this book, Forgiving Kevin, which was my experience in going to Holy Spirit during those 7 years of his addiction. Since he passed, and since I've written this book, I've been invited to speak to colleges and high schools and middle schools and parent groups and coaching groups and things like that to tell this story because, well, frankly, it's the heroin epidemic. Nobody seems to know what to do with it, and I have a story, and that's about it. But Holy Spirit has guided me to tell this story. I also speak one-on-one to all those people who have an addict in their life and perhaps have lost them like I lost my son, Kevin. When I took these Pathways courses, I had no idea how my ministry was going to unfold. But I put Holy Spirit in charge. And he has me teaching the power of forgiveness to others in a way that is, well, it's a non-traditional ministry. But it's given me tremendous strength. And I highly recommend Pathways of Light as a training program. And I thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patricia Black from Belfast, Northern Ireland. I am a student, a facilitator, and an ordained ministerial counsellor with Pathways of Light. I feel honoured for the opportunity to share during this Awakening to Love conference. I hear the Course in Miracles repeatedly asking us to awaken to love. A Course in Miracles is written on a spiritual level, always speaking from the higher self, knowing that God is love and therefore so am I. Recently, I have spent more time in communion with Jesus, and I have experienced some revelations revealing the knowledge of himself through me, speaking deeply about atonement to me, awareness, and acceptance. These I call the Trinity of the 3 A's. These words, coming from my right-mindedness, I awaken to love, the state of mind that will extend miracles to others and to see the world in its place. When I reflect on atonement, one with God, of all creation, to have a little willingness to trust, a little willingness to accept the truth, for this is the only thing that God, Holy Spirit, is asking from us. The second day, acceptance, the healing of my own thoughts, an acceptance of who I truly am, and the acceptance of who you truly are. Changing my perception of myself, I will therefore change the perception of others. The last, third A, awareness, paying attention to my thoughts. Are they coming from the mind of God, or are they coming from that fearful ego mind, the false, separated self, the one that I have made up? I have made a commitment to myself, and that is to be willing to take time throughout my day, to pay attention, to be still, to go within, and to listen to that inner teacher, that inner voice for God. For in that moment, I will be given the grace, the heavenly state in which everything freely is given, and there's no difficulties, there's no guilt, and there's no fear. Every day, I give thanks, and I have so much gratitude for the life that I hold and the intention that I hope to come from, which is love. And that love will extend from me out into the world. I am so grateful for Pathways of Light, for their Course in Miracles conferences, for their Course in Miracles courses, which have guided me and supported me on my spiritual journey. A few months before I started my ministry, I was in communion with Jesus, asking, was this right for me at this time, as I was dealing with some health issues? I received guidance, very clear guidance and clarity, to go and read over and over the characteristics of God's teachers. These teachings were so helpful and give me so much clarity as well, for when I started my ministry with Pathways of Light, I could really relate to what exactly Jesus was saying and to apply these in my life. The modules of Pathways of Light are well presented. They have encouraged me to reflect and to reflect on the practice which I receive a deeper inner healing every day I spend time with Jesus. All material that you need will support you and can be accessed by visiting Pathways of Light. There is so much free material if you're not a Course in Miracles student, but even to have a look at the support that is given to help awaken us all to love. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all today for listening, and I send you so much love, and I'm full of gratitude. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lynn Nelson, and I live just outside Belfast, and I'm hoping to complete my Pathways of Light ministerial training in January. A little bit about my journey. I decided that I want to get into something a bit more spiritual, and I did a retreat, and they kept talking about a course in miracles. Of course, I thought of a course in miracles, this big blue book with gold writing, and I didn't really want to open it. But something got me interested in Course in Miracles. So I went on the web and I looked up and I found Pathways of Light. And I also found that they had a facilitator, Patricia Black, who lived just not far out of Belfast. So didn't know what to expect. I got there, and from the moment I got there, I just loved the whole thing. I love Patricia Black, her warmth, non-judgmental, her trust in the Holy Spirit. I was just on to Course in Miracles. So from there on, I did the courses on every 2 weeks. I liked the Pathway of Light. I liked the format where I could do meditations, and then through doing the meditations, I could also do the workbook. And Patricia and myself worked through this and able to new self-awareness and enlightenment and just trusting in the Holy Spirit. So bringing me to this, do this today, this video, a little bit about this morning, I'm reading about empathy. And at my background, I'm a therapist and I work up the Shankill. I work with young people. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of anger. And I'm reading about empathy. And empathy is a big thing in therapy. Empathy for the client. But empathy in A Course of Miracles has a whole new meaning. Empathy to me is about an ego meeting an ego. But in Course in Miracles, it's giving it over to the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit changes the whole dynamics. The Holy Spirit stops that ego versus ego, and it's about being one. No separation. Togetherness. Forgiveness for you and forgiveness for me. It's about a connection. So linking that into Awakening for Love, it's about forgiveness, about being together, no separation. Sometimes I'm not able to do this in my work with clients. Sometimes it becomes about ego thinking. But I now am putting it over to the Holy Spirit. Lastly, I would like to say, Pathways of Light, the courses are wonderful. But as we all know, it's about practice. Sometimes at the weekends, I forget to practice. Sometimes I let it go. But it's about trust and the Holy Spirit on a day-to-day connection. And when I give everything over to the Holy Spirit and trust, I'm free and I'm at peace. Thanks for listening to this today. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Susan Comello. My friends at Pathways call me Zen sometimes. I've been a Pathways of Light minister since 1992 when I was ordained. And I would like to tell you about one of the many ways that Pathways of Light extends love into this world. Every Sunday morning for many years now, there's a 1 hour call which everyone is invited to join in. If you would like to get the information about the phone number, the access codes, and the times in the different time zones, please check it out in Miracles News. Also, in case you're interested, I also wrote an article about the Sunday morning call in in Miracles News in the fall edition of 2018. So I'll tell you a little bit about how the call goes, how it's structured, and then I'll talk a little bit about some of the beautiful gifts from it. Okay, well, we meet for an hour every Sunday, and if you are going to join in, you're asked to get on the call a few minutes before the time, whichever it is in your time zone. And then we start with the meditation, and then we have an inspired random reading from the text, or the workbook, or the manual for teachers. I got distracted in my brain. Then we read through the whole section, and after we do that, we go back and reread 1 or 2 paragraphs, and people are invited to share if something about the reading is either they'd like clarification, or if something touches them, or if it relates to something going on in their lives. And after an hour, there's a gratitude and blessing, and everybody feels much more connected and in love. So the calls have been such a gift to me. It's such a wonderful thing to be able to be home. I don't have to get dressed up. The weather could be bad or beautiful, I mean, whatever. And we get on the call, and it's like we're all together. It's just a beautiful thing. The calls are very inspiring because whatever someone shares is so perfect for whatever I'm going through. Sometimes it can be more of an inspiration of what they share. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, I'm going through the exact same thing. Or it can also sometimes be kind of like a nudge that, oh, I kind of do that too, but I wasn't really thinking about it that way. So it's such a gift, and every week this happens. Something beautiful comes of it. And even though we're in very, very different locations, even different countries, we really are together. And I'm so grateful for that. I just want to say that I hope you will join us sometimes or every time. I really look forward to the calls, and am very grateful to Pathways of Light for setting this up, and I invite you to join us on this joyful journey of connecting with each other in love and oneness. Thank you.
My name is Dan Strodi, and I'm manager of Miracle Network in London, United Kingdom, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'd like to talk briefly about Pathways of Light, and as a way in, I'll tell you about when I met Ken Gorman, who is a Pathways of Light minister, and I met him here in London, and he was so instrumental in my understanding of A Course in Miracles. We became friends. He took me under his wing, and he became my mentor. He explained to me things that I didn't understand, like the importance of my connection with Holy Spirit. And I read about it, but I didn't understand it. So that helped me so much. And forgiveness. Forgiveness was an idea, a term, but to really experience it I needed my mentor, and he was wonderful. And then a couple of years ago, he introduced me to Pathways of Light. We had a call with Mary and Robert, who run Pathways of Light. And just for those who don't know it, Pathways of Light is a Course in Miracles spiritual college. And they give the most wonderful courses on all sorts of different things. I was attracted to the ministerial training, and I took that on. It took about a year and a half. It was such hard work. I had to spend every spare moment studying and learning, and but it was the best time of my life. And after a year and a half, I graduated. I became a spiritual counselor, certified. So it means I could go out and help people with counseling if that was appropriate. I could do weddings, funerals, all sorts of things that I never considered doing before. And another thing which I find amazing is they have all these other courses which aren't related to the ministerial training, but are wonderful, like remembering to choose peace, and forgiveness, and healing relationships, and it goes on, and they're all profound, and I could do this for the rest of my life. It's brilliant. So yeah, I'm profoundly grateful to Pathways and to Ken for this real great boost up in my understanding of Course in Miracles. And I send you all my love and all the best.
Welcome. Bienvenue. I am Reverend Diane Champagne-Bernier, a Pathway of Light minister. I am French-Canadian, Canadienne-Française, from Alexandria, Ontario. I would like to talk to you about my journey as a Pathway of Light minister and facilitator. My soul was calling, and a friend talked to me about Pathway of Light. It was the perfect fit, and it led to my ordination in 2009. The first few years after my ordination was mostly settling into my calling. As I was still working at the time, I was not sure yet what I would do. In the fall of 2013, I called Reverend Lorraine Merritt, Pathway of Light program director at the time, to schedule some Step 4 course refresher. And she asked me if I want to be a Step 4 facilitator. My soul answered yes before I had a chance to think. However, I know not to question my soul decision. And so I embarked on a beautiful, life-changing experience as a facilitator. Let me share with you a story about what I learned to trust Holy Spirit and His lead as a facilitator. On Tuesday, May 19, 2015, my mother suddenly passed away. I was in shock and sad. I was facilitating that following Saturday. I immediately thought about withdrawing. Holy Spirit said no, wait, and so I did. And since I didn't have to be with my family until the following week, I called Reverend Lorraine to let her know that I will be there Saturday. And since I was with another, more experienced facilitator who knew I could count on if needed be, Reverend Lorraine told me that she was not worried and that she trusts that everything was in perfect order. That Saturday morning, as we called in, the other facilitator experienced some technical difficulty with her phone and could not be on the call. I ended up alone, or so I thought, for a few seconds. I stopped and asked Holy Spirit to take the lead, and I let go of expectation. I asked the student to help me with timekeeping so I wouldn't miss our break. The day went beautifully. At the end, I thanked them all, telling them about my mother, about how grateful I was for their presence, their sharing, their insight, how this day soothed my soul. I am grateful that I followed Holy Spirit lead. It was such an easy flowing day. As a facilitator, I meet a lot of future ministers from all over the world, from different backgrounds, life experiences. And I realize that we are all looking to answer the calling of our soul. We are all looking for the truth. Facilitating is giving and receiving. It is about feeding and nourishing our soul, uplifting it. And I know that it is the same for the future ministers as well. After all, we are all students and teachers to each other. I am grateful to Pathway of Light for their support. We are truly a big family, sharing the same goal of awakening, being in communion with all, and extending love, forgiveness, peace, and joy. I am Reverend Diane Champagne-Bernier, God's ambassador here on earth, and so are you. Je suis l'ambassadeur de Dieu ici sur terre, et vous aussi. Merci. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Barbara Goodman Siegel. I am the author of a book entitled Finding Yourself in the Mirror, Awakening Through Mirror Affirmations for the 365 Lessons of A Course in Miracles. And what I'm really proud of is I'm an ordained ministerial counselor with Pathways of Light. You know, Pathways of Light has a wonderful approach to their ministerial program. Rather than focusing on memorizing the course and being able to repeat it back, which is fine if that's what draws you to study, but their approach is focused on practicing the course, looking at the ego, removing the veils that we have accumulated, and really helping us to hear our own inner wisdom. The spiritual counseling program that they've developed is called Accessing Inner Wisdom. I love it. I truly do. I feel it's the best spiritual program out there. And the reason I feel that way is because the purpose of it is for the minister to help the client access the client's inner wisdom, not wait for the counselor to interpret or analyze what their problem is. We all have the answer. We just need help sometimes to move into the higher self to hear what that answer is. So if you're looking for a ministerial program, or if you're just looking for a wonderful spiritual home, I hope you'll check out Pathways of Light. We would love to have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Reverend Helene Burke, and I'm sitting in my loft home in Manhattan, New York City. I'm an ordained minister from Pathways of Light, and I've been called by Holy Spirit to teach inner child healing. When I was studying to become ordained, I had several meditations where I visualized myself healing my own inner child and then extending this healing through teaching to other people. When I became ordained, I simply said to Holy Spirit, send me the people who I can help. That's it. I didn't advertise. I don't have a website. And sure enough, one by one, people began to contact me for inner child healing. Here's the course book. This is a profound, profound course that is so much more relevant than people who have spent years in therapy. And I'm very grateful to Holy Spirit for connecting me with the people that we are healing each other because we are one. I have healed and still work on healing my inner child, and I'm so blessed that I can help others heal as well. I work with people individually over the phone, or they come to my home if they live close, and I've also done it in group. It's my specialty, although I love all of the courses that I took at Pathways of Life. They're all wonderful. For me, I feel my calling is healing the inner child. So that's my story, and I'm going to stick with it. Blessings and love to all.
Hi, my name is Sue Janae. I'm a global impact visionary leader, an intuitive healer, and an ordained minister with Pathways of Light. The ministry training program was a pivotal point in my career, and it really helped me unwind all the programming I had growing up around God and religion, and really allow me to embody my spirituality. It was an amazing experience, especially because I had Reverend Lisa Windsor as my mentor, walking me through the curriculum, supporting me all along the way, and inviting me to go deeper and deeper in each module. The experience was amazing, and I would highly recommend it for anyone who's looking to deepen their experience of their spirituality, and particularly those that are needing to unwind from any limiting beliefs around religion and God. My life has become my ministry, and my heart work is all around heart-led living, how to lead with your heart. I have a couple books, and I have a growing global community as well. Two of the books that are based on the work I'm doing now is Heart-Led Living, which is 10 principles to shift consciousness from head to heart, helping people lead with their heart and trust their intuition as they embody the work that they're meant to do in this world. This next book is Stand Up, Stand Out, Stand Strong, a 30-day guide to navigate life when the shift hits the fan. And this is my favorite book at this point. It's really about helping us take a journey from the programmed mind, the programmed judgments that we all have, shifting into how to forgive and how to embody our heart yes, and how to answer the call for love. It's a beautiful journey, and it's a great book for anyone, whether they're on that spiritual path or not. It's actually a really neat language that came through me as I channeled this book through the keyboard. It came through at 4 a.m. So as I embark on this journey and I look at my life, I'm really grateful for the training. I'm really grateful for the constant ongoing support, and for me it's all about healing in community and awakening to the truth of who we are. And the way we do that is by surrounding ourselves with others who reflect the spirit and the light and the wisdom within us. And that, for me, is what Pathways of Light is all about. Thank you so much. If you're interested in finding me and finding more about Heart-Led Living, you can find our website at heartledliving.com. Namaste.
Hi, I'm Rev. Myron with Pathways of Light. I've been a minister with Pathways of Light for 15 years now. and I've been studying A Course in Miracles since 1981. I love the courses that Pathways offers. They are wonderful. The ministerial courses are terrific, and I very much enjoy facilitating them. If you're going to, if you are a Course in Miracles student, I just can't think of a better system, a better way to prepare for your spiritual ministry than these courses. There's also another set of courses that Pathways of Light offers, and these are called Practitioners Training Program, and there are 24 of those courses. I've done them all, and some of them I've done several times. Many of them I've done several times. I love these courses, obviously. I have 24 favorite courses because it just depends on which one I'm working with. That's my favorite at the moment. Talking to people about these courses who've done them with me, everyone agrees they are just beautifully put together. Let me see if I can show you. This is how it comes. For instance, this is one I've just finished working on. It comes in a very nice binder. It has 2 CDs that will have meditations on them, as well as just general information that you can listen to while you're doing other things. Cleaning the house or driving in the car, or whatever. Whenever you have a moment to listen, and having that playing in the background, that just absorbing that information is very helpful. It also there's also a booklet that comes with it, and the booklet has the information that we use for our study. One of the reasons why these courses are so very helpful is that it helps you to get it using several of your senses. For instance, you read it. It sends you to A Course in Miracles and asks you to read a certain section, and as you're reading, you're reading it there. Then you come back to the booklet, and there'll be thoughts on the section that you read, and you're reading that as well. It might ask you to write some quotes down from little sections from what you just read. It helps us to focus our mind on a specific idea, and it slows you down. I've noticed that when I'm reading A Course in Miracles sometimes, and anything really, I can just be reading through it without really absorbing it. And so this helps us to slow down and really pay attention. Besides reading it in that way, it also has practice. And of course, what is the point of really understanding something, no matter how deeply you understand it, if you're not going to put it into practice? And so this helps us very much to put A Course in Miracles into practice. It'll have a process, perhaps, where it will make a suggestion. Here's something you can do during the day. And then after you've done this a few times, practice this a few times, well, then write what your experience was. How did it feel to do that? What did it change anything whenever you were doing it? And then after you do that, will you meet with your mind healing partner? I meet by phone generally because most people I work with don't live near me. And we meet once a week and we talk about it. I tell her what it is that I got from it, how my week went, how this study affected my week. I read to her. It has periodically through the book, it'll say share with your mind healing partner. And so I share with her what I wrote. And then she will share with me. There's something about sharing, I think, that is extremely important. We're joining together for the same purpose, and it's a holy instant. It's a holy instant when we do that. I do this in 2 different ways. I work one-on-one with people, like I was just talking about, but I also have groups. Sometimes we study in a group. In fact, I have one group that we've been studying together now for quite a while. We've done maybe 10 courses together. And there's such bonding there because we are sharing on a very deep level in a way that you don't typically share with people. We're very supportive of each other. And so there, either way that you do it has its advantage. I don't know, I just can't say enough about these courses. I've enjoyed them so much. It's wonderful whenever, I don't care how many times I do it. Every time I do it, I seem to grow. And it just to be able to reach a new depth of understanding and a new depth of in my practice. And I really grow from it. And I've noticed that other people do too. And it's wonderful to watch other people grow through the process of doing the courses. At the end of each course, we do an assessment, and I just wanted to give you an idea of how this works for other people. I wanted to read a couple of the assessments from this particular course. And this person, Jane, she said, "This is one of the most lovely Pathways of Light courses that I've taken, and I've taken at least 10. It is like a mini Course in Miracles. Certainly, the basic principles of A Course in Miracles are covered in this course. I feel I could take it again starting tomorrow and get just as much from it. This is a rich one for sure. Willingness, seeing the world as meaningless, hiding from my true identity, understanding what guilt is, projection, and letting go of false ideas of separation are just some of the helpful things that I learned." She said the peace, when asked what were the most valuable things that she gained from this course, she said that peace comes from the relinquishment of the ego thought system, that I'm not the victim of the world I see. What I experience is always the effect of my thoughts and not the cause. I'm in the kingdom of heaven now, but I cannot experience that if I'm not first at peace. When I choose for peace, I choose for God. I am one right now with Jesus and all my brothers and sisters right now. Everything is now. When asked what comments she had regarding her experience of the Course, she said, "My understanding of A Course in Miracles has deepened immeasurably through working with the material in this course. My relationship with the Holy Spirit and with Jesus is also deepened. I've seen my brothers and sisters differently. I see myself differently. I see the world differently than when I started this course. Now and oneness are no longer abstract principles to me, but gifts of peace and love from God, which are so enriching. The peace of God is everything I want is no longer a platitude. It is just the truth." And another person wrote something. I'm just going to read this one thing that she wrote because I thought it was very important. She said, "This was the best course I've had. If only I'd done the practitioner courses in order, I would have done this very early on, which could have been wonderful. I think many people would benefit from having this be the first practitioner's course they do. But it was wonderful now, even after 10 other classes, and just what I needed for where I am on the path." There are many glowing reports of how these courses have been helpful. If you're interested in going deeper and getting a better practice with A Course in Miracles, I highly recommend these. Thank you.
Hi, it's Rev. Savina Cavallo here, and I am an ordained ministerial counselor. I became ordained in 2014 after taking the ministerial training through Pathways of Light. Their curriculum is based on the principles of A Course in Miracles, and the training it's facilitated by another minister who has already been ordained. And I love the fact that it's a facilitated training because it kept me accountable, and I felt accompanied in the whole process. There's a lot of deep inner healing and work that goes along with the training through the various courses included in the curriculum. The training itself is very gentle, yet it's deep, and it really is based on the principles of the course. And all I can say is that it's truly transformational. It transformed my life. It opened up my understanding of the course and how to apply it to my life in a practical way. Their website is full of free information, free support based on A Course in Miracles. There's a lot of support also for us ministers. We can have our own page included in the website, and I think that is just wonderful. So why don't you please visit the website. It's pathwaysoflight.org. And if you have any questions, just send them an email. That they're always willing, happy, and always there to respond to any inquiries that you have. Thank you.
Hello, my friends. Reverend Kathy Silva here, and I wanted to share with you for just a few minutes about Pathways of Light and how it has just been such beautiful support for me on my journey. I believe that just the right support comes to us in just the right form, exactly when we need it. And for me, just a few short years ago, I was experiencing a tremendous amount of turmoil in my relationships, and was really in need for healing. And although I was doing some really fulfilling work and great work as a professional coach for many years, I felt like there was something more that I wanted to do with my work. And I realized that there was a calling that I was feeling to become an ordained minister, but also to focus on us all joining together and healing our relationships and experiencing love's presence once again, because I just felt like I just felt like it was possible. It was highly possible for us to do that. But first I had to experience my own healing. And so I entered into the ministerial courses and curriculum with Pathways of Light, and experienced a really deep and full healing within myself, which I needed to do. And which led me to doing the Creating Spiritual Relationship, Removing the Blocks course, and become a facilitator for that. And doing that work, it's a very powerful course for joining together and healing our relationships and learning how to communicate with each other and how to grow spiritually with each other. And then it led me to what I'm up to now, is writing a book called Loving One Another, Finding a Better Way, which is based on my healing journey and what I've gained from practicing A Course in Miracles and the insights from my work with Pathways of Light. So I encourage you to check out Pathways of Light and maybe see if that's the support that you've been looking for. And I just wish you so many blessings and so much love, because love is what you are. And we're here to realize that together.